Okay, so what do you have to do now after this? You have to take off the gasket? That's the valve cover, right?
Yep.
Okay. You just take that off and then replace the gasket. Man. Just nice and dirty.
That's all right.
That's Tim. Tim the Tool Man. Alright, so now we're taking off the gasket.
The valve cover.
Oh, the valve cover? Alright. It's nice and oily. Sweet. Good job. There it is. Toyota Camry. Right now we're replacing the valve gasket.
Valve cover.
It's usually valve cover gasket, whatever. It's usually about $180. But Tim's only going to charge me $10. I'm just kidding. Go. Alright.
This is the inside of the valve cover
Of
of
the
a
2001
Toyota Camry. There's a dual overhead cam. The timing belt is here, or chain. Sometimes you have a chain. It only works on one pulley, so you have the gears inside turn both the exhaust and intake side of the cam shafts. These are a dual overhead cam, which makes more power than a single overhead cam. A lot of V8s have a single cam that runs down the center of the motor, but usually 4-cylinders have two, like basically this is half of a Hemi engine. A Hemi has two, like a V8 has two on each bank.
Yeah.
Alright, these are where your spark plugs go down in here. You gotta be very careful not to drop stuff in there. If you take your spark plugs out, we'll be changing that today, along with the valve cover gasket, because we had a slight leak over here at the back. We'll all wipe it off, so there's no dirt or nothing. So
That's where the oil was leaking, right?
Right.
A little. Okay.
This is the intake plenum, the intake hose, and the air box where your filter goes next to the battery. Your mass airflow sensor or MAP sensor is over there in the back, right there, and your intake temperature sensor is right there.
Very
They
nice.
both go into here.
All right. Gangsta. Go.
All right, we're back with the valve cover. We're taking the gasket off, which is right here. You see the, if I could figure out, remember which side. Right here it was leaking, right here, which you can see there's some dirt and stuff gets in there sometimes. It's just normal wear, leaks on the side. We also have where the valve nuts go. These are these right here.
Those are the old ones, right?
They sit right there. These will attach it to the top of
the screw,
your,
which is this
of your,
right there.
right there. There's a seal that also goes in there. This is not a very typical engine, but usually you'd have bolts here that hold them down. This particular engine has these that hold them down, hold the valve cover on here.
Mm-hmm.
But between that, you can see the difference between the old and the new seal. This one's a lot thicker, probably better. A little bit of different shape, but it does the same thing. They're just as good.
Sweet. All right, so we just took off the old valve cover gasket. That's it right there. And the new one is right there. We basically matched it up to make sure it's lined up. Now what he's going to do is go ahead and clean it. It's going to be nice and clean so I don't be riding dirty. All right, we just cleaned up the whatever.
Started cleaning the head, or the valve cover.
Yeah, so we're just letting the carburetor cleaner do its job, and he doesn't use gloves. He goes all natural, and
bareback.
So he's gangster like that.
I don't like gloves because I can't feel what I'm doing on the motor. I mean, yes, it's going to be hot, but hopefully, you're not that stupid. You won't touch, hey, I just started the car. I'm going to hold the exhaust real quick.
Very nice.
So hopefully it'll all come out. You can see the nice machine work that came from the factory. This whole valve cover will look like that eventually.
I like.
Nice and shiny.
Okay, so there's the inside right there. As you can see how dirty it is.
Well,
yeah, see it. But if you can get some degreaser or something, right?
Engine degreaser.
Engine degreaser, then spray it in there and then
let it sit for a minute.
Let it sit for.
Come back in, probably with a small brush.
You sure we shouldn't let it sit for like 2 days or something?
No, it's too much. It'll dry.
Oh, okay.
You have to respray it again.
Bummer. All right. So he's just cleaning it up a little more, and then after that we'll put the gasket on, right? Putting the gasket on, Anything else? That's it?
Nope. That's
Okay.
pretty much it. Cleaning off the inside of the motor, you don't want any kind of particles or sand or leaves or anything. I know there's a lot sitting up here. It's kind of a bad thing because it's windy day to day, but I'm being real careful not to knock anything in there. It can really tear up your motor.
Mm-hmm.
Even the tiniest little bit of sand can ruin your whole engine, and you'll be spending money all the time trying to fix it, and it won't really work right. So right now all I'm doing is making sure there's no dirt where the seal is going to go.
Yeah. Gangsta.
The mailman came.
That's the mailman. Hello, mailman. All right, and here's the gasket we just put on there. We cleaned it up a little, as you can see. We cleaned it up a little, and then we put the seal on there. Voila. Not too shabby. Now we're just cleaning this part up.
I need a little.
Go.
Alright, I've got the new gasket pressed into the valve cover. Has a nice little seal. Compared to the old one, was kind of flat and worn out. These are pieces that I found floating inside the oil jets inside that actually squirt the oil into the car to lubricate it. There, there, and there.
All right, and now we're just going to place that on there.
Now
and
reinstall the valve cover gasket.
All right.
With the valve cover.
All right, so we just got the thing back on there, and all you have to do right now is just screw those things back in, change the spark plugs, and connect this line with that line, and voila, it should be done.
Yeah, put these new.
So he just put those green things on there, and now he's putting those metal pieces on there. Just make sure when you put it back on there, don't cross-thread it, because that would really suck. All right, so we just put the valve cover bolts back on there, and he's tightening it in a certain sequence. Just go to Google and find out how to do that.
This is not really the right tool, but
yeah, that's not the right tool.
It's what I had. I don't have this car.
We just roll like that.
I make tools.
Yeah, use the tool man. All right, looks like he's placing it right back. There it is. You can do it.
That is the right one. I was making sure I was the right.
Taking the plier, and see how he's doing that? He's pulling it and putting it back
clamp.
There. Compression clamp? Is that what they're called? Okay.
Sometimes, like these ones are nice because they're bridged right here.
Yeah.
This one has two. They're such a pain in the butt sometimes, but
you gotta do it.
Now we're going to be changing the spark plugs. All this will help your gas mileage go exactly how your car was supposed to. Later we'll be changing the air filter also and blowing out the system.
All right.
Very nice.
Very nice. And here it is. What we're going to use is an NGK. Voila.
Alright, these are the old Bosch Platinum 2. That means it has two terminals. Notice the difference between the new ones and the old ones. These are actually iridium. They're higher strength. They provide a brighter spark and a stronger spark. They come pre-gapped, but it's always good to check the gap. The white is caused by overheating, and it can eventually lead to fouling out your plug, which means that the one cylinder that this is in will not work.
Tim is just unscrewing that and gonna replace the air filter with the newer type of air filter. Let's see how dirty it is. I'm sure I've been driving dirty for a while. There it is. It's not too dirty. It's okay.
That's dirty.
You sure that's dirty?
It's dirtier down in there.
Oh. Yeah, it's okay. But whatever. We just need to change it. So we're just going to put the new one in there. Sweet.